Hi everyone. So for this week's discussion, there were a few things that I took away from our group discussion that I found to be really interesting that I hadn't thought about myself. The first thing was the idea that this time was a time that biology was studied a lot, and the person in their group discussion said that an explanation for this could be that studying biology was maybe for less criticism from the church because it didn't require people to make value statements on that. So they're just talking about physical characteristics like vision, the structure of the eye, the lens, things like that. Specifically, biology allowed maybe greater leeway with the church. So that was an explanation that I hadn't thought of myself, and it made a lot of sense to me. The next thing was that someone talked about how the idea of a vindictive and controlling God scared people to fear God. So that fear is really what controlled scholars from avoiding getting on the bad side of the church, right? Because they were afraid that God was going to curse them or, bring retribution on them. So we heard, how the church has a lot of authority, but I hadn't really thought about how it was really that fear of a vindictive God that really drove their authority. And then lastly, another person commented how the church in this time used spirituality to distance and separate people and not unite them, which is something that I also didn't think about and I think is really true. And of course, this caused a lot of conflict in this time, but that's something that really makes sense to me, and I found it to be really interesting, a new way to look at the developments of this time and why things were the way that they were.